People say Blackwater Ridge was abandoned for a reason. But when the rescue team found only one survivor from the missing hikers, trembling, blood-covered, and unable to speak, they believed something else had happened. Something older. Something watching. This is his account. Marcus Hale had spent 12 years as a wilderness ranger, and in all that time, he had never feared the forest. The forest was predictable. Storms, predators, the occasional reckless hiker. Nature followed patterns. Nature made sense. But Blackwater Ridge never behaved like the rest of the mountain. The air was always colder. Birds avoided it. Compass needles shook as if undecided. And the ridge had a history. Missing hikers, abandoned campsites, strange footprints, and stories of shapes moving between the trees long after sunset. Marcus never believed the stories, not until the night the call came in. A group of 4 hikers failed to return from Blackwater Ridge. Their emergency beacon had been triggered for only 2 seconds, barely long enough to register a position before it went dark. The signal placed them near the old fire tower, a place even veteran rangers avoided after dusk. Marcus packed fast. Thermal gear, radio, flare gun, long-range flashlight, and his journal, a habit he kept from years of documenting unusual forest behavior. He drove into the night, tires crunching gravel, the dense pines closing around his truck as he ascended the mountain. Fog rippled low, hugging the ground like pale smoke. A strange sour smell filled the air, metallic and sharp, something he'd never encountered in the woods before. When he stepped out, the wind died instantly. No rustle of leaves. No insects. No nocturnal calls. Just silence. And silence in the wilderness was wrong. Deeply wrong. Marcus made his way up the ridge trail, scanning for tracks. The ground showed scuffs, dragging marks, as if someone had been pulled while resisting. Broken branches. Something heavy had passed through. His flashlight flickered, though the battery was new. He tapped it once. It buzzed, and the beam sharpened again. A tree stump stood ahead, carved with deep gouges that spiraled downward. Not knife marks. Not claw marks. Something else. Something too clean, too deliberate. He wrote it down in his journal. Gouges found on stump. Not animal. Pattern resembles symbols. Marcus pushed onward. Half an hour later, he found the first hiker's pack. It had been torn open, its contents scattered. The fabric was shredded in razor-thin strips that curved inward, as if something hooked had sliced through it. He knelt, inspecting the ground. That's when he noticed the footprints. Not human footprints. They were too long, too narrow, almost like barefoot impressions, but stretched unnaturally. And whatever made them had sunk into the ground with incredible weight, much heavier than any man. Marcus swallowed hard. As he followed the prints, the forest seemed to watch him. The trees leaned inward, branches arching above like a ribcage closing around him. Every few steps, he felt the faintest tremor beneath his boots, subtle but rhythmic, like a heartbeat coming from deep underground. Then the smell hit him again, stronger this time, and he saw it, a smear of dark fluid on a rock. Not blood, too thick, too black, too reflective under the flashlight. He touched it with a gloved finger. The substance clung like oil, and it was warm. Before he could analyze it further, a voice cut through the stillness. Not a scream, a whisper. "Marcus!" The voice came again, closer. "Marcus, why did you come here?" He spun around, flashlight sweeping. Nothing, only dense fog weaving through the trees. He backed up slowly, heart pounding. His radio crackled suddenly, the static sharp and violent. Then a female voice emerged from it, strained and broken. "H help! Tower! Please!" It was one of the missing hikers, alive. Marcus bolted toward the fire tower trail, adrenaline overriding fear. Branches tore at his jacket as he pushed through the undergrowth. But the closer he got to the tower, the more wrong everything felt. The ground trembled again. The fog thickened into a milky haze. And the trees shifted. He could feel it, movement without wind. Something very large was circling him. He reached the clearing and saw the fire tower silhouetted in moonlight. But something else was there too. Something crouched at the tower's base. Massive, black, hunked, watching him. The creature did not move. It just breathed, slow, deep, heavy breaths that shook the earth beneath him. Marcus raised his flashlight, and the thing lifted its head. Its eyes reflected the beam. Not red, not yellow, but a very human shade of brown. And then the creature spoke. "Why did you come back, Marcus?" Marcus' pulse hammered in his ears. The creature crouched beneath the fire tower didn't blink, didn't snarl, didn't launch. It just watched him with a familiarity that felt impossible. Its human brown eyes shimmered in the beam of his flashlight, and its voice, the voice that spoke his name, sounded like a rough, distorted version of his own memory. "Why did you come back, Marcus?" He stepped back instinctively, hand trembling around the flashlight. "What are you?" Marcus whispered, breath unsteady. The creature shifted its weight, the ground sinking under its mass. Its limbs were long, too long, joints bending subtly in the wrong direction. But its face was obscured in shadow, as if the darkness clung to it, refusing to reveal its shape. It inhaled deeply, and the trees shuddered as if reacting to its breath. "You shouldn't have returned," it said again, the tone low, layered, as if several voices spoke through one throat. Marcus forced himself to move closer to the tower, skirting wide around the creature. He pressed his back to one of the tower's support beams, keeping the thing in sight. Then he saw something else, a hand. A human hand gripping the ladder rung halfway up the tower. "Hello," Marcus called softly. "If you can hear me, hold on. I'm going to get you out." A weak voice echoed from above, cracked and trembling. Please, don't let it speak to you. It lies. The creature's head twitched at the sound, its spine straightening slightly. Marcus tightened his grip on the ladder. But before he could climb, the creature spoke again. "Marcus, look at me." Its tone wasn't threatening, it was pleading. Marcus kept his eyes fixed on the ladder. "Not interested," he muttered. The creature let out a low, guttural exhale, shaking the fog. "You were here before. You promised you wouldn't forget." Marcus froze. "I've never been here," he said firmly. "You've got the wrong person." But the creature laughed, a horrible, broken sound like a cough splitting into echoes. "Your mind forgot," it rasped, "but your shadow didn't." Marcus felt a cold rush down his spine. He didn't understand what it meant, not yet, but he had no time to analyze cryptic riddles. The missing hiker above him sounded like she was losing consciousness. He climbed quickly. Every rung groaned. Every breath felt observed. Halfway up, he risked a glance down. The creature hadn't moved, but its eyes had followed him the entire time, unblinking. When he reached the platform, he found her, the hiker who called on the radio. She was curled into the corner, knees to her chest, shaking uncontrollably. Her clothes were torn, her skin scratched with thin, precise cuts, like the marks he found on the tree stump. Her eyes darted past him toward the forest below. "Is it still there?" she whispered. "Yes," Marcus answered softly. "What is it? What happened to your group?" She swallowed hard, tears streaking her dirt-covered face. "We heard chanting. At first we thought it was the wind, but then the ground opened." She pointed shakily toward the tree line, and something climbed out. Marcus felt the tower sway slightly as a gust of cold air rose from the forest floor, except there was no wind. He peered down again. The creature had stood up. It towered over the bushes now, its silhouette twice as tall as a man. Yet it moved like something accustomed to small spaces, its joints folding and unfolding with unnatural silence. The hiker grabbed Marcus' sleeve, pulling him down to her level. "Don't listen to it," she whispered harshly. "It sounds like someone you know. It sounded like my brother to me." She inhaled shakily. We followed it deeper, thinking he was alive. But the more we followed, the less the forest looked real. Marcus felt a chill settle into his bones. "How many of you are left?" Her lips trembled. "We were 4. I think I'm the last." Before Marcus could respond, the tower shuddered. A low groan vibrated through the metal frame. The creature had placed a massive hand on one of the support beams. "Marcus!" it called up, voice echoing strangely through the trees. "You don't understand. You left a part of yourself here." Marcus backed away from the edge, pulling the hiker with him. The creature tilted its head. "Come down. I can show you." The hiker shook violently, clutching Marcus' arm. "Don't go," she begged. "It wants you. Just you." Marcus' radio buzzed suddenly, startling them both. Through static, a faint male voice broke through. "Marcus Hale, do not engage. We're tracking multiple life readings closing on your location. Stay inside the tower until..." The transmission cut abruptly. Then another sound rose from the forest, not the creature's voice. Many voices, Whispers. Hundreds. All speaking Marcus' name. The whispers moved like a tide, rising, falling, circling the fire tower. Marcus felt the metal beneath his boots vibrate with every voice calling his name. Not angry, not monstrous, almost welcoming. The hiker clamped both hands over her ears. They start soft, she whispered, trembling. Then they get inside your head. Marcus steadied his breathing. He peered over the railing again and froze. Shapes moved through the forest. Not one creature, not two, dozens. Their forms were wrong. Bodies elongated, some crawling, some walking upright, limbs bending like loose branches. Their skin shimmered between shadow and substance, never fully forming. But every pair of eyes turned upward toward him, and all of them spoke his name. Marcus. He swallowed hard. Hey, he muttered to the hiker beside him. What did you say this thing was? Some kind of hallucination? A toxin in the woods? Spores. She shook her head, curling in on herself. They showed us things, she said. Memories we never lived. Places we'd never been. My brother died years ago, but down there. I heard him laughing. Marcus absorbed her words, jaw tightening. So this is psychological. They use memory. No, she whispered. They become memory. Below, the first creature, the one that knew his name, stepped fully into the clearing. The other forms parted for it without a sound. The tower groaned again as it gripped a second support beam. Marcus, it called, gentler this time. You forgot what happened here, but you left something behind. Marcus clenched his fists. I've never been here, he repeated, though the words felt hollow now. The creature tilted its head. Not you, it said, the part that dreams. A chill rolled through Marcus' veins. The hiker grabbed his sleeve again. Don't answer it, she warned. Don't look at it too long. They take pieces of you when you focus on them. Marcus tried the radio again. Only static. Then, crackling. Hail, respond. Multiple entities. Tower integrity low. Do not descend. Backup inbound. The signal died, leaving a ringing silence. He lowered the radio slowly. Help is on the way, he told the hiker. She stared at him with hollow eyes. You think anything human can help you now? Below, the whispering intensified, a 1,000-layered chorus folding over itself. Come down, Marcus. Marcus, it's all right. You're almost home. He felt something tug at the base of his skull, a pressure, like someone pulling at a thread inside his mind. The air thinned. The sky darkened, not from clouds, but from something spreading across the treetops, a shadow that rippled like a living canopy. The forest didn't feel like a forest anymore. It felt like a threshold. Marcus shook his head hard, grounding himself. He turned to the hiker. Hey, what's your name? She blinked as if the question startled her. Amy, she whispered. At least. I think so. You think so? Amy wrapped her arms around her stomach. Down there, they spoke to me. Showed me every failure I ever tried to forget. Every regret. And then they told me I could stay with them. That I didn't have to remember who I was. Or who I lost. She looked at Marcus with haunted eyes. When you forget yourself, they fill the space. Marcus exhaled sharply. Then we don't forget. We stay anchored. Understand. But Amy didn't respond. Her eyes drifted slowly toward the forest again. Marcus gently turned her chin back. Stay with me, he said firmly. She blinked rapidly, as if waking up from a trance. A thunder-like crack echoed from below as the creature tested the tower again. Bolts rattled. The steel frame shuddered. Marcus backed away from the edge. We need to go higher, he said. Roof hatch. Now. Amy followed him, footsteps uneven. At the top of the ladder leading to the roof, Marcus listened. The forest had gone silent. Not a whisper, not a breath, nothing. That silence unnerved him more than the voices. He pushed open the hatch and froze. Something was already on the roof. A figure, sitting cross-legged, completely still. But it wasn't one of the creatures. It was a man who looked exactly like Marcus. Same face, same clothes, same scar above the eyebrow. The double raised its head slowly, eyes locking onto him. Marcus' stomach dropped. What are you, he asked. The double smiled, a calm, chilling smile. You left me here. Amy collapsed to her knees, shaking violently. Marcus stepped back toward the ladder, but the double didn't move. It just looked at him with serene familiarity. You don't remember, do you? It asked softly. Marcus' pulse thundered. No, he said. I don't remember ever coming here. His double tilted its head. That's because you didn't come awake. A deep rumble echoed across the forest. Below, the creatures began whispering again, louder, more urgent. Marcus! 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 The double leaned forward slightly. Ready to remember? Marcus stared at the man who wore his face. The resemblance was perfect, down to the faint scar on the brow, the barely noticeable crease in the jaw, the same uneven cowlick in the hair. It was like looking into a mirror carved from flesh. Amy was frozen, whispering prayers under her breath. The double didn't move, didn't blink. It sat comfortably, hands resting on its knees, like someone who had been expecting him. "You're not real," Marcus muttered, though doubt clung to every word. His double smiled softly. "If I'm not real, Marcus, then why do you remember this place?" Marcus swallowed hard. "I don't. I told you. You don't remember awake," the double said, rising to its feet. "But you've been here many times before. In dreams you forgot the moment you opened your eyes." The wind shifted, cold and unnatural. The treetops below shivered, as if recoiling from the conversation. Marcus shook his head. "Dreams aren't real." The double stepped closer, boots making no sound on the metal roof. "You think the mind turns off when you sleep?" it asked. "No, it travels. It wanders, sometimes too far." It spread its arms slightly. "This forest, these creatures, they are not new to you. They've been waiting for the part of you that always came wandering back." Marcus' heartbeat grew louder in his ears. Below, the creatures whispered harder, voices overlapping. "Return, return, return." Marcus backed away from the double. "What do you want from me?" The double sighed, as if disappointed. "I want nothing. They want what you left behind." It pointed to the forest. "Your shadow." Amy whimpered. "What does that even mean?" Marcus demanded. "My shadow isn't something you can take. You'd be surprised what you abandon when you're lost in the dream state," the double said gently. "Your fears, your guilt, your memories, your echo." Marcus shook his head again. "This is insane." The double tilted its head. "Then why do you know the way out?" Marcus froze. "The way out." Amy grabbed the back of his jacket. "Marcus, please, don't listen. Don't let it in." But the double continued, voice low and calm. "Tell me, Marcus, if this is your first time here, why do your feet know where to step? Why do your hands remember the ladder? Why do you know exactly when to stop climbing?" Marcus' breath hitched. Because it was true. He had known. Every rung, every turn, every instinctive pause. It felt rehearsed. Familiar. His double stepped closer, voice barely above a whisper. "You've walked this place in sleep for years, but you never stayed long enough to see what you left behind." Marcus stepped backward until he felt the edge of the roof under his heel. The double frowned with almost human concern. "Careful," it murmured. "You always fall here." Marcus' eyes widened. "What?" Without warning, the tower jolted. A violent, resonant impact from below shook the entire structure. Metal screamed under the force. Amy screamed, clinging to the ladder. "The creatures," she cried. "They're pulling the support beams." The double didn't react. It simply watched Marcus with patient, unblinking eyes. Below, dozens of clawed hands, shadowy, translucent, shifting, gripped the tower legs. Their whispers rose. "Give him back. Give back the shadow. He is ours." Marcus crawled toward Amy, grabbing the hatch frame to steady himself. "Go down," he shouted. "To the platform. Move." Amy climbed frantically, tears streaking down her face. Marcus turned back toward the double. It stood calmly, hands in its pockets now, like someone waiting for a bus. "You can save her," it said. "The tower will fall soon." Marcus gritted his teeth. "Then tell me how to stop them." His double smiled gently, a teacher with a slow student. "They don't want to kill you. They want to make you whole." "I don't need them," Marcus snapped. "I'm whole enough." His double's expression softened. "No, you're not. You know that." Marcus felt something sting behind his eyes, like a memory was pushing, trying to break through. The double extended its hand. "Come with me. Descend the tower. They'll show you what you lost. And once you remember, they'll let you leave." Marcus stared at the hand. Every instinct screamed not to take it. Every instinct also whispered that the double wasn't lying. Amy's scream pierced the air. "Marcus, please." The tower shuddered again, violently. A metallic ping shot through the frame as a bolt tore loose and ricocheted into the night. Marcus looked down at Amy, terrified, clinging desperately to the railing. Then back at the double, calm, steady, patient. "Choose," it said softly. The forest below went silent. The creatures stopped whispering. Every eye, hundreds of them, stared up at him. The world waited. Marcus took a breath and stepped,